Once again, I am Patricia Lucia, author of Wildflowers and Present Tenses. My friends call me Patty, and so can you. I'm joined by my co-host, Taylor. We do this every week on Sunday at 10 o'clock, where we read a story, well, read excerpts from a particular story out of my book, Wildflowers and Present Tenses, and then talk about the broader themes that are in it. So, at any rate, I'd like to introduce my wonderful, wonderful co-host and soul sister and my favorite prego in the world, Taylor Callahan.
Hi, good morning. So glad to be here. Today we are talking about trusted and treacherous adults. So I do want to put a trigger warning out on this. There will probably be some triggers in this story for some. And I just want to advise that before we move forward. I know for Patty, these are some of the hardest moments of your young adult life. Yeah. And I think that all of us here can really relate to these stories, and definitely have our own versions of those to share. So
many.
Without further ado.
Yeah, this was one of the harder stories to write. We've talked about this. Definitely one of the harder stories to write. And one of the interesting things about writing a memoir is that as you are writing things down, and as I was working on my memoir and writing more of my memories down, more memories come, and deeper, and sometimes memories that we've
you start
suppressed.
releasing things that you had completely forgotten.
And and it's not always pleasant. But that's why I say
the healing.
That's the healing. That's the healing. And that's why I say memoir writing is a healing process, and I recommend it for anyone. So some of the things that I write about in this particular story are those such memories, the memories that kind of came up in the midst of writing my memoir. It's like, oh shit, and then it's like, do I really want to write about that? Yeah, I probably should, because I found that the stuff that I was most resistant to was probably the stuff that I really should write about. But it was difficult, and it was also a difficult story to. I felt like even the quality of my writing was affected by the difficulty of these memories. And even in the end, I felt like I wanted to end it on a happier note. It was kind of one of those things where it's kind of like, this story doesn't really end on this warm and fuzzy note, like some of my other stories. It doesn't end on a warm and fuzzy note. And I felt like that was about as honest as I could be now in this moment. If I rewrote this story in another 5 years, I might be in a different place. I might write it differently, but in the moment, that's what I wrote. So.
And I was flabbergasted to see that as an English teacher, the Florida Department of Education decided that it was your department's job to coach these kids on things like suicide and human trafficking and substance abuse and depression, anxiety. It's very telling that would get put onto the English department's shoulders.
You can watch the entire conversation on YouTube at Patricia Lucia Author. This was an important conversation about trusted and treacherous adults.